Please welcome to the stage, Sachin Council.
Hi, everyone. Please welcome to the 5th annual Go Get. My name is Sachin Council. I'm Chief Product Officer at Uber. I manage both the mobility and the delivery experiences here, so both the Go and the Get. And it's my job to make these experiences as flawless as we can. But that's not always so easy, because we operate at enormous scale. 175 million customers in 70 countries who did 11 billion trips last year. When you operate at that scale, sometimes it's easy to overlook what an individual user is thinking and feeling, what's happening on each of those 11 billion trips. So I constantly remind my teams, don't be distracted by the numbers. Put that individual user at the center of everything we do. And I try to follow that advice as well. I try to be that individual user, and I'm a very, very heavy Uber user. I take a lot of trips. You can see my number of trips so far. I place a few Uber Eats orders every week, maybe one too many, including in my hotel room last night. New York food is great. Only for testing, only for testing. I also am an Uber driver and courier. I go out and drive and deliver food every month. That is actually a video of me on the road. There's actually a passenger in the back seat as well. This was taken from my dash cam. This is the best way for me to put myself in the shoes of our users and experience what they experience and figure out what we need to fix. But you can't stop there. Then I document every single issue in painstaking detail and share it with my teams. That's my actual document. And I hold them accountable to fix it as fast as possible. They absolutely love that. But look, it's our job to understand what our users are saying and fix the issues that they have, and that's what today is all about. Let's start with a simple question. Why do people use Uber? Many people think that it's a convenient luxury that business users use to go to the airport, to go to business meetings, maybe to go to social events. But in reality, for a lot of our customers, Uber is a daily necessity. These are regular commuters who are working really hard. They're just going to work. They don't have access to a car. They're not close to a transit stop. They're shift workers, so they have to get to work on time, and they're using Uber for that. I, as an Uber driver, have given rides to many of them, and I've dropped off people at hospitals and retail stores and restaurants because that's where they work. Last year, we did 3 billion commute trips. And 60% of those users have a household income of less than $75,000. These are regular, everyday commuters. And it's not just for the grown-ups. Teenagers have a very fixed schedule. And their parents have really started using Uber Teen accounts, which we launched 2 years ago as part of Uber Family. So teens can now order their own trips under the supervision of their parents. It's really taking off. We're doing millions of teen trips every single month, and it gives parents peace of mind. Let's not forget the grandparents. Earlier this month, we launched a pilot of Uber Senior accounts, so seniors can have access to a simplified version of the Uber app, and they can request trips, and while they do that, they can be kept track of by their family members. But it's also not just about rides. Those same commuters, when they come back home, they're exhausted like an ICU nurse. They are relying on Uber Eats to put food on the table and to put groceries in the fridge. So these are the people that we are always thinking about: regular commuters, caregivers, seniors, teenagers, parents, shift workers. And we always want to know what they're thinking. And we ask them, this is what they're thinking. They feel the world right now is a bit too much, a bit too confusing, a bit too overwhelming, and a bit too expensive. And we have seen how in the last few years, things have become more expensive. So our message to our users is, we hear you, and we are deeply committed to helping make your life easier, simpler, and a lot more affordable, including when you're using Uber and Uber Eats. Now we're going to talk about how we're going to do that. Let's meet Rebecca. She's an ICU nurse, works from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. every single day. Has been using Uber for many, many years, uses Uber several times a week. In the morning, opens up the app. She sees a price. She sees 22.18. Next day, she may see 20. The next day, she may see 24. Now, we run a dynamic marketplace. The prices may change a little bit. It's a busy morning. We need to get more drivers on the road. The price may be different. But for her, it's just another thing she has to worry about in her commute. Should I order my trip now? Should I wait a little bit? Will the price drop? It causes her some anxiety, and we want her commute to be stress-free. Let's see how we're going to do that. First, we need to fix the issue of when to request. And we're going to do that with our new feature called Commute Alerts. It's very simple. She just sets an alert going from home to work, and she tells us the time and the days. And then we use that information, and we use AI, and we look at thousands of signals, including the traffic patterns at that time, the number of drivers we have on the road, her trip history, and we send her a push notification. We know that she typically starts her trip at about 7 a.m. We may send her a push notification at 6:50 telling her, look, traffic is heavy. You may want to request right now if you want to get to your work by 7:25. Pretty straightforward. And we're going to add more signals to this. We're going to add weather patterns, as well as what's happening with the fares. Is the fare going down? Is the fare going up? And in addition to sending a push notification, we are going to use iOS live activities and Android live updates, so it is a persistent reminder on her home screen. It's a very helpful and a very polite personal assistant in her pocket. So with this, we want to solve the question of when should I request the trip. But when she does request the trip, the prices are still variable. And what she would like to do is she would like to just lock the price and then pay that price predictably every single morning so she doesn't have to worry about it. And for that, we're going to launch Price Lock. And let's talk about how Price Lock will work. Again, she puts in her pickup location and her destination. She tells us the time when she's going to commute. She can give us an hour. So it goes from 6:15 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. And then we quote her a price. Let's say we quote her 22.18. And she can lock this price by paying $2.99 upfront, and she can save up to $50 in that month. That's a really good deal for a regular commuter. Let's say she likes that price, and now she has the Price Lock pass, and the next morning when she opens the app, she would have seen 24.13. But she doesn't have to worry about that anymore because she has locked her price at $22.18, so that's what she's going to pay. But let's say she opens her app one day, and the price actually was going to be $18. It's a slow morning. Well, but I locked it at $22.18. That feels like a ripoff. But no, she doesn't have to worry. If the app says $18.23, she will pay the lower price. So she can have complete peace of mind, and she absolutely is going to save using Price Lock. Price Lock is going to launch in many cities in the US and Brazil starting today. OK, so she's locked her price. That's a good first step. But if you look at her trip history, she's taking a lot of trips with Uber. And for someone like her who does 20 trips in a month, shouldn't she be saving a little bit more than someone who, let's say, takes 4 trips a month? Absolutely, she should be, which is why we are launching Prepaid Pass. And using Prepaid Pass, Rebecca can purchase a bundle of trips. And let's say if she purchases a bundle of 15 rides, she can save 15% on that, and that really adds up over time. And she can then track how many trips she has left in that bundle. And we're going to launch these bundles 5, 10, 15, and 20 this summer. And the more she purchases, the more she will be able to save. So both these rides passes, Price Lock as well as Prepaid Pass, are launching very soon. It's a great way for users to get a discount on UberX, which is their trusted door-to-door transportation service. But users tell us, hey, I want to save more. And in order to save more, I'm willing to wait a little bit more. I'm willing to walk a little bit more, but I need to save more. So that's interesting. And when we look at our network, we realize that many of our users, they live in generally the same area, they work in the same area, and they commute at the same time. So using the density of our network, which is very dense, both for users as well as drivers, and the strength of our marketplace technology, we can definitely put multiple people in the same car as we get them from home to work in this scenario. And that's why a lot of our users use Uber Share, where they get picked up, then another person gets picked up, then they get dropped off to their destination, and in the process, they get to save the cost, and they may save anywhere from 10% to 30% on UberX. That's great savings. That's awesome. But we want to take it one step further. So how do we take it one step further? We ask the riders to walk a few blocks to a predetermined point at a predetermined time to participate in a predetermined route, which they will share with a couple of other riders. We call that route share. Let's walk through how route share is going to work. You enter your pickup and destination, and in addition to UberX and many other options, now you will see an option for route share. Now, in addition to the price, you see a lot of other information. Let's walk through that information. It's a 7-minute walk from where I am to my pickup point. After that, it's a 20-minute drive, and then it's a 5-minute walk at the destination before I get to my eventual destination. And if I tap on that, I can get more options. Instead of the purple route, I actually want to take the pink route because it happens to be a shorter walk. And maybe I don't want to take the trip that starts in 10 minutes from now. I want to take the one that starts in 30 minutes because the same route is available every 20 minutes. So I have a lot of choice, but I get predictable pickups and drop-offs, and there are no detours. So I walk a little bit more, I wait a little bit more, but I save a lot more. And in terms of savings, route share can save users up to 50% off the UberX price. That's just great value. Now, the concept of route share is not new. It has existed for a very, very long time, even before we had automobiles. And then it continued when we had automobiles. Safety was definitely optional when they started doing that. And it has progressed, and it still exists, especially in many parts of the world. I grew up doing a lot of route share going to school in my childhood. It's a way of life in many places. And we are learning from that way of life, of sharing these trips. But we bring our network and our technology to create a route share that's a lot safer, a lot more predictable, a lot more comfortable, and affordable. So it's very exciting. We are launching it. Starting today, it starts rolling out in many cities, including right here in New York. We're going to have dozens of routes in a city like New York, available every 20 minutes, both in the AM as well as the PM peak commute times. And remember, 50% off UberX prices. We are also going to work with employers to get route share eligible for commuter benefits so that employees can actually use their pre-tax dollars for route share and save even more on top of the 50%. So I'm very excited about route share, and I'm very proud of the team as they have built all these products for commuters: Price Lock, Prepaid Pass, Commute Alerts, and route share. Huge value for everyday riders. But they have to be able to find these things in the app easily. So we're going to help them manage all of this in a single place in the app, which we call the Commute Hub. The Commute Hub will launch later this summer, and it's going to be the one-stop shop for riders to make their commute easier, simpler, and a lot more affordable. Commute's a big part of our story today, but it's not the only part of our story today. At GoGet, our goal is to help you save in a variety of ways, and my colleagues are going to come up, and they're going to talk about some of those things. Rohan, one of our senior engineering leaders, is going to talk about saving on Uber Eats. And then Abby, who runs our Uber One membership product, will talk about how Uber One is a must-have, especially for budget-conscious users. And then Wendy, who manages our AV products, will talk about our AV strategy and how that makes Uber easier and more affordable over time. And of course, we can't have GoGet without hearing thoughts from Dara, so Dara will help wrap us up. Look, we know that our users are relying on us and counting on us to make their life easier, and we are deeply committed and working really, really hard to come through on that promise. So thank you very much, and now I'm going to hand it off to Rohan to talk about saving on Uber Eats.
Good morning. It's great to be with you all today at my very first GoGet. You just heard Sachin talk about how we're making life easier and more affordable for our riders. Now, I want to talk about how we're doing the same thing for our customers on Uber Eats. If you've been shopping lately, you probably know that inflation has hit groceries especially hard. I can't even keep track of the price of eggs these days. Menu prices at restaurants have gone up too. That's why when I talk to my friends and family, many of them want to figure out how they can save more on food, and Uber Eats can help. But people are working harder than ever. They don't have time to visit different stores, to clip coupons, comparison shop to find the best deal. They want saving to be easy. And with the feature we're announcing today that's called Saving Slider, finding the best deal is easier than ever. Since Uber Eats has access to a wide variety of grocery products in your neighborhood, we can actually help you save across stores and brands. But we also know that people make different choices. For example, you might be fine with the cheaper brand of pretzels, but you don't want anyone to mess with your favorite hot sauce. The saving slider helps you hit the exact right balance. Let's say I'm getting ready for a movie night with a few friends. I'm gonna start with my favorite ice cream. On Uber Eats, you can now build and save your own unique shopping list for every occasion. Let me add a few things to my shopping list. Maybe I'll start with pizza, popcorn, a cozy blanket. I bet you didn't know that you could get that delivered on Uber Eats. Then, at the top of the list, the saving slider will kick in. It scans across my list, it compares prices across stores and brands to recommend cheaper options instantly using all the data that we have about your preferences and your replacements. If I don't care how many swaps Uber makes, I can really crank up the savings. Generally speaking, we expect you'll be able to save up to 15 to 20% without making too many changes to your original list. Let's take a look at how this works. So in this case, I'm gonna start cranking up the slider to start saving. I can see I found a cheaper pizza. That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna swap out for a store brand popcorn. That's good. And then I found another blanket that's on sale. It's actually a Snuggie. Hot deal. The Van Leeuwen peanut butter brownie is non-negotiable though. And look at that. I'm saving over $15. And in just under a minute, my movie night is shaping up nicely. I'm saving money. And before what is that? Oh, it's a Coco delivery robot. My order is here. Look at that. My favorite. Okay, but the lawyers made me say we don't actually offer 5-second delivery. So just like with rides, we're helping you make the choice that's right for you. Saving Slider will launch later this year in the US and Canada, with many more markets to come. Now, what if you're tired of cooking at home and you want to shake things up a bit, but in a way that doesn't break the bank? Let's do it. If you were to type restaurant into your favorite Maps app, you would probably get a lot of options. But that's actually about all you get. It doesn't give you recommendations based on the food you like to order or the places you like to go. And if you want to save, there's no easy way to see all the different promotions that different restaurants are running. With the new Dine Out feature in Uber Eats, your whole night is covered. Deals, restaurant reservations, and rides. Let's imagine it's a weeknight, and you've been working from home all day. You're in no mood to cook, and you just want to get out for a change of scenery. Well, you're going to open up Uber Eats, and you'll spot the new Dine Out icon. Instantly, you'll see nearby restaurants with curated offers to help you save. You'll tap the reservations button to see what's available tonight. And you'll come across Catalina, a trendy restaurant on the harbor that you've actually been wanting to try. You look at those photos to get a sense of the ambiance and browse the menu. That lobster risotto looks awesome. They're also offering a nice discount, which makes the decision really easy. You're going to book a table thanks to our new partnership with OpenTable. And because you're an Uber One member, you have priority access to some of the hottest restaurants in town, like Catalina. You can also see all the available ride discounts and get a ride, all without leaving the Uber Eats app. In a few taps, your table is booked and your ride is confirmed. We'll launch Dine Out deals and rides in Sydney, Australia this summer before expanding around the world. Australia in the house. I just mentioned our partnership with OpenTable. Starting this fall, they'll be powering restaurant reservations in the Uber Eats app for customers in the US, Canada, Mexico, UK, Ireland, and Australia. To tell you more about it, please welcome the CEO of OpenTable, Debbie Sue.
Thanks, Rohan, and I love following an ice cream bearing robot. My news is equally exciting and cool, I think. It's great to be here, and thank you all of you for being here. Now, you just heard how we're making it easy for Uber Eats users to browse restaurants, reserve a table, book a ride, to get there. But that's not all we're doing together. Starting this fall, OpenTable VIPs in select markets will see an offer for 6 months free of Uber One membership. This will unlock exclusive table reservations held just for them, plus offer benefits like $0 delivery fee on Uber Eats for those nights when you want to stay in. And here's where it gets really fun. When you reserve a table in the OpenTable app, you'll be prompted to book an Uber ride within the same page, and we'll highlight available discounts on Uber rides. When everything is confirmed, you'll have all the details you need in one place for a seamless night out. So pick up at 6:45 for a 7 o'clock reservation, no problem. And on top of that, OpenTable users will soon be able to use their points with Uber and Uber Eats. At OpenTable, we've witnessed the evolution of dining over the past 2 decades. And this is the next chapter. We're meeting diners where they are. Everything about this partnership means planning. The planning and the process of enjoying a great restaurant, whether dining out or in, just got even easier. And finally, we haven't even mentioned yet what this means for restaurants, and they are at the core of everything we do here at OpenTable. For them, this collaboration brings additional opportunities to drive revenue, to engage existing diners, and to reach new ones too. And we feel pretty confident that this is a win for everyone. And now back to you, Rohan.
Thanks, Debbie. We love working with you to connect restaurants with their customers in new ways. Uber Eats has always been the place to get food delivered. But we've always aspired to make your life easier in more ways, whether it's getting your groceries or dining out. And today, we're getting closer. As always, Uber One members get an elevated experience. To share more about all the fantastic benefits of our membership program, please welcome Abby Stauffer.
Hi, everyone. It is great to be here with you today. If you can't tell by now, today's theme is all about helping you save. And while I'm obviously a little biased, our membership program is hands down the best way to do that. Here's what you can get with Uber One. $0 deliveries, discounts on Uber Eats orders, cash back on Uber rides, and special perks from your favorite restaurants and stores. When you add it all up, it's a no-brainer. But Uber One isn't only about savings. We also connect our members with top-rated drivers on rides and top-rated couriers on Eats, because it's important to us to give members an elevated experience as well. And today, we are making the best even better. First, we're adding new benefits to make travel easier and more affordable. Uber One members already earn credits back on rides, but what about those moments when you need to rent a car or just feel like taking a bike or a scooter? Soon, members will earn 10% back in Uber credits when you use Uber Rent. You can also get a discount on car delivery and Turo, which lets you rent someone else's car nearby. And for those moments when you really don't need a car at all, members will soon get 10% off Lime scooter and bike rides. Because you don't need to own a car to explore the world, especially when you're a member. Now, our members also tell us that they want something extra special for being loyal to Uber. So we came up with a new way to celebrate them. Here's a question. What do these things have in common? A plane trip, concert tickets, an Uber ride, and a Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme? Any guesses? No, they are not the ingredients for the best weekend ever, although that is a good guess. They are just a few of the tens of thousands of offers during our first ever Member Days. Member Days is a week-long celebration with the most epic deals and discounts and offers that we've ever had, and they're only available to Uber One members. Starting this Friday, May 16th through May 23rd, Uber One members all around the world will have access to the best deals that we have ever run on Uber rides and rentals. Think 50% off shared rides, 20% off Uber Black, 40% off Comfort Electric, with new deals each day of the week. And there's treats and freebies from other brands with your Uber One membership too. As a part of Member Days, we're announcing that Delta will be giving 100 million miles to Uber One members. Just link your accounts and complete 10 rides or Eats orders to earn 3,000 bonus miles. If you spend $100 on premium rides, Marriott will give you a $25 Bonvoy gift card. Aura is giving $150 off of a fitness ring and 1 month of free membership. And my personal favorite, ClassPass, is giving away 1 month free for new users and 15 bonus credits for existing users. And then, of course, there are discounts at your everyday favorites. 30% off of orders at Starbucks for your daily Starbucks run, Home Depot, CVS, plus up to 20% off at Costco. The list really goes on and on and on with tens of thousands of deals. We could literally be here all day. It's all a part of listening to our members and helping make their everyday lives a little easier. And since you get your first month of Uber One for free, it's the best time to try it out to get access to all of these awesome Member Day deals. I hope you'll join. Now, to tell you about another way we're helping people save, please welcome our head of autonomous products, Wendy Lee.
Hi, everybody. We've heard about how we're helping you save today, but what about tomorrow? That's where one of our most exciting new technologies comes in. When people ride in an autonomous vehicle for the first time, it's magical. Everyone is fascinated by the little things, how you unlock the vehicle, how you start your ride, and my personal favorite, how the steering wheel turns on its own. And I love seeing people's reactions. Whether it's a robot that delivered Rohan his ice cream earlier today, or that ghost that's behind the wheel. It shows you why the future of transportation is autonomous. AVs will help make roads safer, no question, but they also lower the cost of getting around, reduce emissions, and cut down on traffic. Plus, they're just fun. It's like one of those things you never really get over, like when we took our first Uber ride years ago. And just like we did back then, Uber is proud to bring the future to life. Companies that build AVs are great at designing new technologies. But what about generating demand? Or taking care of everyday logistics? Or remote assistance? Or returning you your lost items? Or simply getting you where you need to go with the most efficient route? It's all part of a complex marketplace that handles millions of trips an hour. And that is Uber's bread and butter. It's why we've partnered with 18 of the leading players across mobility and delivery in the world to facilitate tens of thousands of trips every month. Over the last year, we've expanded our partnership with Waymo, building on Phoenix, to now offering rides and fleet management in Austin, and soon in Atlanta this summer. We're also offering rides with WeRide in Abu Dhabi. Soon we'll be expanding with them in Dubai, with more cities to come. And don't forget about our AV delivery programs, which are live in 11 cities with AV Ride, Cartken, Coco, Nuro, Serve, and Waymo. It's all part of making Uber the best platform in the world for autonomous technology. As Sachin said, most people who open up the Uber app don't need the same thing every time. And it's our hybrid marketplace, one that combines drivers, couriers, and AVs that can serve any use case. So let's say you're taking a longer trip to the airport, maybe one that involves highway driving, or you're getting picked up from a crowded event. You might want a driver. But if you're taking a shorter trip across town, it might make the most sense to take an AV. And by adding AVs to the mix, we're also making it easier for people to try them out at their own speed. So if you're an early adopter or an enthusiast, you can ride AVs as much as you want. And if you're a little bit more skeptical, you can always take regular Uber rides until you feel ready. And of course, we're always looking for ways to make riding in an AV more accessible and more affordable for you. Earlier, we talked about the benefits of shared rides, including how they can help you save. And so we want to make sure that they're available on AVs too. That's why today we're announcing the first shared autonomous ride in partnership with Volkswagen Group of America. We'll be working with Volkswagen to add their fully autonomous ID. Buzz AD electric vehicles to the Uber platform. Testing begins later this year, and over the next decade, you'll see thousands of Volkswagen AVs across the US. Public rides will start next year in 2026 in Los Angeles. And so eventually, you won't just be taking shared rides on Uber, you'll be taking shared, electric, and autonomous rides all in the same vehicle. And there's so much more to come. Now to wrap things up, please give it up for Dara.
Please welcome to the stage Uber's CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Really appreciate it. So today you have seen a number of products that we have for you, products that essentially help you save, products that are incredibly innovative. They are all built for a moment when every little bit matters. Now, for the past 2 decades, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary Company has come out with a word of the year, right? Last year, it was polarization. Kind of makes sense. The year before, it was authentic. Now, if I were a betting person, I would bet that this year's word would be uncertainty, right? Right now, all of us are uncertain about the economy. Are we going into a recession, or are things going to be just fine? A lot of people feel uncertain about technology and the promise of AI. Is it going to be great, or does it represent a danger to society, right? And then there are certain people, many people, who are worried about their jobs and how far their dollar can go and the size of their budgets. And most of all, I think all of us, in our own way, are uncertain about what the future is going to bring for us. Now, at Uber, we're obviously not going to be able to fix all of that for you personally. But as Sachin said, the goal for us as we build our products is to put people at the center of everything. And right now, for us, it means making things a little easier, a little more predictable, and above all, just a little more or a lot more affordable. So that's why we're leading the future towards autonomous, because we believe that ultimately autonomous rides are going to make our streets safer. They're certainly going to eventually save you money, and they're going to be much, much better for the environment. But as we think about the future, we don't want to be just that company that's kind of trying to create a whole new world. We want to think about how can we improve the world in which we already live in. So even as we look ahead and we imagine, lots of cool things like autonomous, we're rolling out ride passes and route share to make today's commute more affordable and less stressful. We're coming out with new features that help you save no matter what you want to eat. And we're teaming up with OpenTable. Big shout out to Debbie Sue, who's been a spectacular partner to allow you to make a reservation without ever leaving the Uber app. We're making the best local membership program in the world even more of a no-brainer. 30 million members and growing. And in other words, everything that we think about, we're thinking about what can we build for you. Because in a world of uncertainty, we want everyone who counts on Uber to know that we hear you, we see you, and we've got your back. Today, tomorrow, and every day after that. So thank you everyone for coming.